A very good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to Rugby School, the birthplace of the game. 200 years ago, William Webb Ellis, on this very pitch out in front of us, well, he started to play the game that has, over 2 centuries, become the game that we know and love. And it was out here where it all took place. Before we get going today, with the first ever Women's International to take place at Rugby School, we thought we would have a bit of a history lesson, and we've got that history lesson today from Peter Green, the Executive Headmaster of Rugby School. We spoke to him a little bit earlier on today, and Peter Green, in conversation, was extremely interesting about the history of Rugby School, William Webb Ellis, and the connection with Rugby School and women's rugby particularly. Peter, let's rewind the clock. 200 years ago in 1823, a 16-year-old William Webb Ellis picked up the ball and ran with it. Tell us about him as a rugby schoolboy.
Yeah, first of all, he didn't pick it up. He took the ball in his arms. That's really, really important, and basically means somebody kicked it to him. And that is the way that the game was played. It was kicked to you, and you would walk back 10 metres, kick the ball again, and if it bounced in, you could pick it up. But he took it in his arms and he ran with it in a game very similar to Aussie rules, but we're not here to celebrate Aussie rules. William Webb Ellis, an extraordinary boy in many respects, because we know a lot about him. He was a boy who was born up in Lancashire, and he moved here with his mother and his brother. His brother also came to the school. His father had been killed in the Peninsular War in about 1810, 1815, and his mother had a widow's pension. That widow's pension allowed her to come to Rugby and move here. William was given a free place at Rugby, because his family were considered to be paupers living in the town, and we still have, they're called Foundation Awards, and they're still considered to be something to aspire to. So he's a really unusual choice for the boys in the school to select him as their hero, because there were members of the royal family at Rugby at that time. Why didn't they choose somebody from there, or somebody who was a bit of a really important boy in the school, who was a school prefect or something of the like? But he was a pauper, he was a town boy. The school was predominantly boarding, but they selected William Webb Ellis as their legendary hero to take the ball in his arms, having caught it and running with the ball, changing the game forever.
200 years on, we're celebrating that anniversary of rugby being founded. And why is it so important for the school to be able to host not just the match today, but plenty of other matches coming up this season? What does it mean to the school to be commemorating it?
Yeah, it's really huge, not just for the school, it's huge for the rugby community, the wider community. Having started, let's be honest, and I just mentioned William Webb Ellis, the town boy, the pauper, it was known as a posh boy sport for so many years, but now it's not. It's got extraordinary diversity. We now have the women's rugby, which is extraordinary. Look at the Red Roses. Such a shame that they lost to New Zealand. We were all rooting for them, and I say that, and I'm a Scotsman, so that's very, very important to understand. We have wheelchair rugby. There's the International Gay Federation, we've got sevens, we've got tens, we've got tag, and it's played throughout the world, and it's such a brilliant game. We think it's the best game in the world. And the lovely thing is that you're here, and the reason that we've got so many events is that just behind me is the pitch. It's called Old Big Side. Everybody knows it as the Close, but we call it Old Big Side. That's where William Webb Ellis took the ball in his arms and ran with it. I don't think there's any other sport in the world where you can say it happened here. This is where this game happened, and we want to share that with as many people as possible. I've been really fortunate. In my life, I've played at some great rugby grounds, but I'm too old in the tooth now. I've never, ever played here. As the headmaster, I can walk in it, so I suppose that's a start, isn't it?
Yes, it is. There's a fantastic connection between women's rugby and Rugby School as well. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that's a fascinating history. In 1874, William Temple, who became the Archbishop of Canterbury, having been the headmaster of Rugby, decided to found a school called the Laurels. It was on a street called Little Chapel Street, which was over in this direction, and it was to basically educate the daughters of the master. Schools at that time, and unfortunately girls were not particularly well educated in the UK in that space or in that sphere. So he decided he wanted to create this, and it was very well known at the time that they would come and borrow the ball from the boys and play their own form of rugby football just over here as well when they were having time off, because they used to use this area as their playing field. So there's a lovely connection there, I think, with the women's game, and we like to think, I'm sure others might claim it, but we like to think that we founded it.
Well, there's England-Wales now. As a Scotsman, are you leaning more towards the white jerseys of Rugby School, of course, or more towards the red jerseys of Wales? Tell us about that.
Both, really. I just want to see a great game. I actually watched the England women actually training yesterday afternoon. Fantastic skill on show. I've not unfortunately been able to see the Welsh ladies performing at the moment, but if we have a great game and it's a running game and we don't kick the leather off the ball, because remember he took it in his arms and ran with it, he didn't catch it and kick it back. That's the old game. So if we see a great game of running rugby, that's what I'd like to see. So I'm being very neutral in all of that. If it was against Scotland, you know exactly who I'd be rooting for.
Peter, thanks a lot for your time and enjoy the game. Thank you for having us.
Very much. Yeah, thank you very much. Nice.
It is the first match of the Under-18 international season, which will peak with the Six Nations Festival coming up in April. To get to this point, it has been a long road for these players. They started back in August, England with their wider camps. They were then whittled down to a group of 46, then 23 players, and of course a starting 15 now. And to get a bit more insight from the England camp and the Wales camp, we spoke to both sets of head coaches earlier. James Cooper of England and Katrina Nicholas-McLaughlin, and we'll hear from James Cooper right now. James, it's the first match of the Under-18 season for this England group. Tell us about the week leading up to this match.
Week leading up to it, checking in with the players all week, see where they are physically, in the build-up, a few key messages, and then we met yesterday just after lunchtime. Again, a couple of meetings and then team run before we went to the hotel. Shirt presentation ready for today.
The excitement amongst the group, how is that being aided by being here at Rugby School?
Oh, massively. I mean, you just got to look around at the setting that we're in, and the pitch layout, the crowd, how helpful everyone has been staff-wise. It just feels a different level, so that's helping the excitement within the girls.
Well, kick-off is coming up. Tell us about some of the messages you're getting on the field at the moment that you want to be top of mind when kick-off takes place.
Three things: be controlled with what we do, be precise with what we do, and then finally be ruthless when we get that opportunity to finish.
And if you can be ruthless and come out on top of this fixture, how important is getting a win today?
For me, obviously, don't get me wrong, we're competitive beasts, we want to win. It's more for us about that performance. Can we put into practice what we've been working on in camp, and also then in the build-up to the Six Nations in a couple of weeks' time?
Best of luck today, James. Thanks a lot for your time.
Thanks very much. Cheers.
Katrina, a historic day for women's rugby, the first international to be played at Rugby School, the home of the game. What's your season been like to get to this point?
We've only been together for 2 camps, so it's really short. This is the start of our campaign, so it's really exciting that we get to start in such a historic manner. Fantastic.
In terms of Wales this season, the Under-18 group... Well, we'll have to cut the interview with Katrina Nicholas-McLaughlin short because we are about to engage in the national anthems of both Wales and England.
Please could you join us in a moment's applause recognising the life and rugby of David Tozer, coach for Shrewsbury Rugby Club, where he set up the girls section.
Please stand for the national anthem of Wales, sung by Tyrion Gimlet. remain standing for God Save the King, sung by Naomi Simon.
Rugby School is ready for its first ever Women's International. England under 18 against Wales under 18. The start of the international season for these under 18 women. And England peel away and get ready for action. James Cooper's team have got to this point in their season, having had a group of more than 80 players back in August. In an internal game in December, that was then whittled down to 46. Then for camps in January and February, they were selected into a 34-player squad. And then for this match this week, a 23. And they are now ready to do battle with Wales in this one-off historic fixture between England and Wales to commemorate 200 years since the birth of the game of rugby. Rugby School are hosting a whole manner of different events across this year, and this under-18s fixture is one of those. Wales have had a different structure in terms of selecting their team. They had a more regional focused selection procedure where the usual regions, Cardiff, the Dragons, the Ospreys, Scarlets, as well as RGC in North Wales, all competed in a round-robin competition, and players were selected for this international squad based on those regional performances. So here we go. Wales playing left to right at Rugby School. Old Big
ready?
Side, the pitch is known as locally. The pitch where William Webb-Ellis first ran with the ball, and England's play Wales.
Back foot heel.
And England's scrum half today gets the ball away. Evie Haskell
No red.
gets
Ball's available.
England
Stay there.
moving. And they go to the skies with fly half Ella Cromack, the Reading and Wasps player, and she's got good distance on her first kick of the day, forcing Caris Hughes to turn, the Scarlets and Hartpury player. And this is replied well. This is going to bounce all the way out. Good clearance kick from Wales after England had softened up Wales's forwards with a couple of runs and then looked to play tactily in behind.
5. There's your mark. Thank you.
So the first line out of the day. England's captain, Lucy Calladine, to throw in the hooker. Goes to the middle of the line-out. Good clean ball. Back to Cromack, and she'll give her backs, the outside backs, the first run of the afternoon. Up to halfway go England. Haskell doesn't get the ball back. Wales have muscled a penalty on the floor. Good beginning from Wales. And strong defence from Katrina Nicholas McLaughlin's team. And they'll choose to go for a scrum on halfway.
That's all right. Don't worry. Just step up to the mark for me, please. Thank you.
Now, England's first set piece was decent with the line outs secured. How is Wales? His first set piece from the scrum. Scrum half today for Wales is Sian Jones in her second season with this under-18 group, plays her club rugby for Sale Sharks, and she has a decent enough scrum, but England have pinched it, and kicking it forward goes Natalie Evans, and that's going to bounce around and go into touch into the 22. So Wales will be under pressure from this next line out. England robbing the ball right off Wales from that first scrum. A good start for James Cooper's starting 8. Annabelle Meta at number 8 for England today. No Lily Plowman available for selection for England due to major knee surgery. Plowman, a player who played for England under-18s last year. Now England's breaking free and looking to score the first try of the afternoon, and they'll do it right from the line-outs. England with a smash and grab raid, and it looks like Lucy Ward is taking the congratulations from her teammates. Wales's set piece faltering from the scrum and then falling apart from the line-outs. Difficult beginning for Wales. England profiting. It was a loose bouncing ball, and from that distance, once Lucy Ward had got the ball in her hands, it was going to be mightily difficult to stop her. So a first shot on goal for Ella Cromack. So the scores will stay as they are. Cromack's first attempt on goal was a difficult one from right on the right-hand touchline, and here we get to see that search for the line from Ward, and there was no stopping England's tight head there. So Wales's kick-off is going to be reclaimed, England knocking on, and then Wales straight back onto the attack into England's 22. And now Ellen Jones with the ball, the tight head for Wales. Passed along by Jones, worked nicely along the line. Picton Powell, the vice-captain, involved. Up comes Caris Hughes from fullback.
Back foot, 8 onside.
And now Wales reset. Want runners to come short off the ruck, and England have pinched the ball back, and they do very well to storm forward. Evie Haskell looking for runners outside her again. Back to Cromack, who turns and loops it over to Millie David, and that's a speed put on the ball by David. Good tackle in the end from Picton Powell. Back to Cromack, who will just dink this over, keeps it in initially. It's going to bounce kindly for Wales.
Come back here.
But penalty was the call, and England were playing the advantage. Will come back into England's half, and Cromack will have another shot for touch.
Let's go, Pete White.
Really good distance on Cromack's kicking that she's able to affect. The fly half for England pushes that into Wales's half. Another line out for England on this near side, where around about 500 or so fans have come out here at Rugby School to watch this international. England conferring about what to do. And the captain, Calladine, gets the ball. Has a word with her loose head prop, Amelia Williams. England might be shortening the line out here, but the play is not going to get underway until the medics are happy that one of England's players, who is just out of picture at the moment, is able to continue.
Okay, happy?
So that is why we are a little bit slow to get back underway.
Back on.
Was England's
Yeah, you're good there.
number 7, Heidi Pashai Tarragon, in that blue scrum hat, who was getting some running repairs. Caladine with the throw to the middle of the line out, but England drop it and Wales can't take the ball off it. England get it back on their side, but having given away the knock-on. Wales scrum again. And can they get a better outcome than their first scrum of the match, when England pinched it and set themselves up for the first try of the game?
Okay, let's go back row. Shoulder on. Crouch! Bind! Set!
England's scrum puts pressure on Wales. Good pass from the base by Sian Jones. Wales off and running with Thomas Evans, the fly half, and the ball now hits the deck. England's defence looks to take the ball back, but still Wales' ball.
Okay, knock on there, scrum white.
England will have the scrum here. So Wales knocking on in the process as they try to tidy up. They're playing expansively, Wales, looking to be attacking minded, and that particular attack just not quite going to hand. For both these sets of teams, they are still at a development level, and James Cooper, England's coach, probably spoke for both teams when he said earlier in the week that it's not about getting these players ready for competition, it's about using competition to develop them as players. Nice little run here from Evie Haskell, one of the under-17 players in this England team. Big carry just short of the ruck. Haskell to Cromack. England well behind the gain line here, but there's space to work, and that's a lovely pass on to Aspinall, and Aspinall's into the 22. Daisy Aspinall round the outside. A beautiful try from Daisy Aspinall, finishing off a backline move which spread the play to the left-hand wing, and the fast feet of England's right winger did the job. Well, she's in her second season with England under-18s, Daisy Aspinall, and yet she's still an under-17 player. She will have another year at this level, and we saw why in that moment, just how good this young woman is. Scooting around the outside of Caris Hughes, not a finger laid on her. She was at Loughborough Lightning last season, now at Hartpury, and she's been given the vice-captain's role this season because she's a good speaker. James Cooper, her head coach, was saying, and he's given her that role to try and push the leadership side of her game. And when you've got speed like that and you can score tries like that, well, people are going to get behind you. Aspinall's attempt to convert her own try is unsuccessful, but England with a second score, and they lead 10 points to 0 against Wales in rugby. Look at the feet here as she sizes up the fullback, and then off that right leg keeps her speed and dots down. So Wales kick us back underway. And England again failed to deal with the restart, and Wales on the attack once more with Chloe Thomas-Bradley.
Still playing knock-on advantage.
Passed along from Jones, the tight head prop, and England's forwards lining up red jerseys and knocking them back. Penalty though to Wales. They'll go quickly, and this might work nicely for the Welsh. Maisie Davis along the line to Hannah Lane, and Lane gets into England's 22. Jones, the scrum half, to Erin Jones, the lock forward. Now the fly half, Thomas Evans, pops it again on to Ellen Jones, who's full of running, the tight head. Penalty coming for Wales, and they need to convert one of these field positions into points, Wales. They might just be looking at the posts from this position. But instead they go to touch. And safety first. Not many meters put on that, but it was safely into touch. And Wales with the line out. Molly Wakely will throw in.
On the front marker, please. Six called.
And Molly Wakely, one of the players in this team whose region is the Dragons.
Are you happy with that mark, Ma?
And she's also one of the players in the team who's in her second season with Wales's under-18 group.
On the edge of the line, please, White.
Got a really good record in internationals at under-18 level. Wales played 3 full test matches since 2016, since the concept was set up, and they've won all 3 of them. This is Ellen Jones on the front foot, but there was a knock on from the line out. So England with the scrum.
Yeah, thank you.
First time they've really been under pressure, England, in the match.
In we go, please, 8. Crouch! Bind! Set!
Haskell. Wales scrum this time gets the nudge on, and England being pushed backwards.
Yeah, she's back.
Taken off the back of the line out, or back of the scrum rather.
Inside, no
And England make good yards.
Wait, back foot.
Haskell goes back to Cromack. And Cromack
Retreat, wait!
keeps it in field, so
Yeah,
Wales
good
can
enough.
counter from here, from deep. And using Hannah Lane, she's in some space, the right winger. England defenders track across and drag Hannah Lane into touch. Lane was revving her engine on that right wing.
Red, here's your mark when we restart.
Good draw and pass, and Lane in the clear, but unable to get round the first player, and certainly not the second.
Time off. Medic on.
A clean pair of heels from the Sale Shark, Hannah Lane.
How many of you call, please, White? 6. And
England's
8.
line out will be
8, White.
under pressure now.
Just take an extra step, okay? Just read the defensive line. Just encroaching right on the line. Just in general. All right, good, sure. If we do have time's off, yes, please. Okay, we're having a change of shirt here for Clara. Thank you. Time's still off. Just wait, time's off, please. We're having a shirt change. Too much blood on it.
So England's
Thank you.
open side flanker, Heidi Pashai Tarragon, is heading off the
They made a
field.
substitution.
And that is a real unfortunate sight if Pashai Tarragon's unable to come back on.
Fair enough.
Didn't look to be anything other
Bills in
than,
a sec.
or anything tactical at all. Pashai Tarragon still off the field, and that's why there is a delay to the action whilst we wait to see whether England's open side returns to the field of play.
Okay. Thank you. No, that's fine.
Well, it looks like it was a change of scrum hat that Pashai Tarragon needed, so she comes sauntering back on and takes her place in the line out
Time
now.
back
Already
on.
a couple of cotton pads stuffed up her nose to stem some bleeding. England do win the line out, just about, taken in the end by Bridget Campbell,
Playing knock-on
the
advantage,
Yorkshire
White.
player in this England side.
Carried in.
Spun along the line, England running it from deep, and this is ambitious from England. Aspinall is involved again. Don't get out of the 22, however, and Wales muscle the penalty on the floor. Perfect time to sting England with a penalty. Sian Jones nudges this to
Okay, White, take the line, please.
almost 5 metres from England's line.
Numbers, Red.
And we'll see if their line out
Numbers.
can function again
6 called.
and deliver the kind of
6.
ball they'll need to challenge England for a rolling maul.
White on the line, thank you.
So Wakely to throw in again. Rising high to claim it is Robin Davis, the offspring. And Wales gather round, red jerseys now marching towards England's line. And can they get over the line? There's the try for Wales from the line out. And they get their precision right on this occasion. And they're on the board. So the hooker, Molly Wakely, receiving a lot of the plaudits there after she found Robin Davis with the line out. She got in on the back of the maul, and England really with no answer to the dynamism from Wales here. So a conversion attempt missed by Wales. 10 points to 5, the scores stay. England, and that lead being reduced by the Welsh. Let's have another look at it here. Really good organisation at the line out. There was Wakely going in on the ball, and she burrowed through, kept herself low, and she didn't stop until she was sure she was over the line. Cromack kicks England back off. Wales with their first bit of territory of the match, making it pay. England with a penalty, however, and that's excellent work from the chasers from the restart. Cromack's kick was on point, and England have a penalty themselves. Cromack kicks to touch. And kicks very well. And England will be all of 8 metres or so from Wales's try line now.
Numbers? Numbers. 6. 6, thank you. 6. Take the line, please, Red. 8 on the line. Okay, then come in, please. Thank you.
Calladine finds her player in the middle of the line-out, and England look to do to Wales what they've just had done to them. At the back is Calladine. The captain is nestled at the back of this maul, and she peels off herself, then loops it to Ella Cromack. Lovely out the back, and Cromack will look for the line here, and the fly half crosses England with a third try after the captain Calladine peeled off the back. And Ella Cromack finished the job. Well, superb interlinking from forwards and backs here. Calladine's cat flat pass allowed Cromack to then go round lane, and she carried well. Cromack to try and convert her own try. And she does that coolly. So 17 points to 5, England lead Wales, and they hit back immediately after conceding.
Try scored and converted by England number 10, Ella Cromack. England 17, Wales 5.
So Wales kick off again, and this time England do deal with it better. The number 8, Annabelle Meta, surging onto the ball. England almost up to Wales's halfway line. Here's Calladine, the captain, again. Wales, though, looking to rob the ball on the floor, and that's super work after Calladine made a good run. Wales's jackling ability and their strength when they're hunched over the ball is most impressive. England have kept that in, however, so they'll play out from here with the left winger, Connie Clark.
Back foot. Carried in.
Back to Cromack. She's in her 22, but she can't
Yeah,
kick
good.
straight out, so she kicks long. And look at the distance on that kick from Cromack. Now Hughes replies, surges into contact. Annabelle Meta tries to rob the ball on the floor. Wales still with possession. Again, Ellen Jones.
Advantage, 1 white.
Now Thomas
offside.
Evans again.
Penalty advantage, red. White,
Brings in
offside. 1
Chloe Thomas
offside.
Bradley.
1 white.
Wales with the penalty. And Wales don't make touch. How costly have those 2 missed touches been for Wales? They need field position. And England clear their lines. That's lovely from Hughes onto the try scorer Wakely, who's bundled into touch.
Red, here's your mark. Numbers white.
Hughes with a lovely
5.
draw and
5
flick
forward.
pass. Annabelle Meta's covering defence was monumental. Calladine to throw in. Again to the front of the line out.
Timing's good, that's fine.
Anna Cromack has to make the best of this situation. She keeps the ball alive. Amelia Williams
Off your feet now, leave it, red.
is the player in support.
Off your feet first.
And England will win a penalty from that. Wales players not supporting their own weight as they try to steal the ball on the floor. Ella Cromack's having a very, very composed game and an influential game at fly half for England. Kicking long and able to run the ball when she sees space. It's been a very good first 20 minutes from England's fly half.
Line, red. Full, I think it was. Lost in translation, I think maybe. Full, yes please, full.
England's line out again. Calladine this time goes to the back. And Haskell to Cromack. Long pass from Nola. Looking for Maisie Aspinall again. Here is Aspinall. Makes good yards, the right winger. Penalty though to Wales. She was isolated. And again, the scramble defence from the Welsh is of a very high order. Lines cleared by Jones. Takes play into England's half
Take
again.
the line, please. Numbers red. 5.
Well, almost into England's half, right on halfway. England's coaching team, James Cooper with the notebook against his lips, and just behind him his assistant coach, Ollie Perry.
Advantage, free kick only.
Wales' line out, comes back on their side just about.
Free kick.
They have the penalty. Setting off again goes Jones, the scrum half, who's able to keep the pace really high at times. England's outside centre, Natalie Evans, with a big hit. And England turn it over. Meta, the number 8. Cromack.
Advantage over. Backwards.
Wales do keep the ball just about. Hughes has to tidy up, the fullback.
No hands red, no hands white. Thank you. Hold. Knock on
Knock on
advantage.
from Wales, and pouncing on that was
Okay, we'll take the
Pashai
knock on
Tarragon.
here. Scrum white.
And she wins possession back for England, although the knock-on had already been spotted.
Marks here. Thank you.
Pashai Tarragon now playing without a number. And there is Katrina Nicholas McLaughlin, Wales' head coach. And England will have a vast open side to work with here.
Bind.
If they can secure possession from this scrum,
Come
it'll
up.
be about
I need your left
55
shoulder
metres
square, and you need to
of
come in.
space
Okay.
on this
Here's your
left-hand
mark.
side.
Step onto it, please. Step onto the mark. Thank you. Crouch. Bind. Set.
So Haskell, Loughborough Lightning scrum half, and she has good clean ball. They go blind,
Outside.
however, England, and Cromack just puts her boot through the ball and looks for territory rather than to use the open side. Interesting tactic from
White,
England.
here's your mark. 5 called.
It's a very good kick from Cromack, and England are going to put pressure on this Welsh set piece. Meta and Cromack conferring with each other there. Wales do get the ball back from the line out, and they fly it into the midfield and look to run their way out of a spot of bother with Gwen Ann Hopkins, the captain and number 8, and then they're attacking down the blind side.
Backwards, play on. That's forwards. Scrum white.
But conceding possession again.
Forward.
Forward pass as they tried to exploit a bit of space on that blind side. So there we can see how Ella Cromack's tactic of going for territory and then putting pressure on Wales pays off for England.
Keep that left
Got
shoulder
the
on
ball
it,
back
please.
inside
Square.
Wales's 22, and from here
Crouch.
they surely can play.
Bind.
They have even more space to work with now.
Set.
So Haskell,
Wait there, 9. Wait.
the scrum
Leave it.
half, is under pressure though from Sian Jones, and she's scragged. Jones has done really well.
No hands. Let go.
England will have to reset.
Back foot, red, back foot.
Richardson to Cromack. It does get along the line, but it's not clean. Now it's Natalie Evans. Evans makes a break. The outside centre. Here's Aspinall again, looking for a second.
Tackle.
And she's held up well.
Release.
3 Welsh
Thank
players
you.
gather round, but
Take
England
it there,
5
Red.
metres away. Haskell,
Knock on
little
advantage.
stoop to try and pick it up. Wales have possession back.
No,
And
white.
England
Leave
a little
it.
imprecise
Knock on
in
advantage,
those last
please.
couple of phases.
Advantage over.
And Wales hook this over the top. Cromack, the fly half, takes it and goes round the first, and then she'll enter the 22. Keeps it alive. Beautiful from Ella Cromack. Support from Lucy Ward.
6.
Run from Campbell now.
Tackle. No hands. Back foot.
Haskell
Advantage
to
offside
Meta.
line.
Low slung and powerful is Annabelle Meta.
Head advantage 9 offside.
Haskell and Cromack looks for the crossfield kick, and this might work nicely for England. It's claimed on the right wing, and then stepping back against
Still
Welsh
playing, head
players
advance.
was
Okay,
Aspinall.
you're fine. That's not over here.
Well, she covered the ground well, did Daisy Aspinall. She was
9
over on the left-hand
offside.
wing just a few seconds before that, and then identifying the space on the right wing.
Yeah, you're good there.
But England
9
will
offside.
have a penalty from back on the left-hand side of the pitch, and Evie Haskell is shouting at her forward because she wants to take this quickly, and here they come. Here's Williams, Amelia Williams, off and running the loose head prop. So close now, England again, looking for a 4th try against Wales, and it's looped over. Wales intercept,
Backwards.
but they knock it on. Although play on is going to be granted, so England's spurning that opportunity for more points. They're back on their own
Inside
halfway
50.
line.
Outside.
That's a lovely jink from Millie David.
Back foot.
Haskell again finds Cromack, who's pulling out the full range of different kicking styles today. And Wales
Tackle.
improvising
No,
a touch
leave it
now.
out wide. Thank you. Carried in.
Here is Caris Hughes. Kicks long and kicks really well, Hughes. That's an excellent touch finder from the fullback. And not only do Wales stop England's scoring, they manage to bring play into England's half. So
Numbers white.
A fine defensive set from the Welsh.
Five court. That needs to be quicker, please, White, okay? 5. Okay. Keep coming, Red. Thank you. You're good now.
Caladine misses the intended target. Taken well, though, in the end by Adonry. But England are off and running. Natalie Evans kicks in behind. Chasing after it was David, and she has the ball beating everybody.
I don't think it's material right now, but thank you.
Well, England so far a mix of territory-based tactics and expansive running rugby.
5 called.
They've been
5.
An excellent value for their lead, 17 points to 5, and
take a step, please,
Wales have shown just how dangerous they can be when they've had territory, but when they've run it from deep, they've often found life a little trickier. And England have turned over the line out again with Meta, who's such a powerful carrier. She goes over Wales's 22-metre. Cromack. England operating deep behind the gain line, and so straightening things is Lauren Nola.
Tackle!
And Wales have tried to steal the ball on the floor.
5.
England with the penalty. Evie Haskell doesn't take this one quickly, leaves it for Cromack.
Okay,
And
Red,
Cromack
take the
has
line, please.
once again put
Ensure you
England
stay on your front marker
in a
at
very
all
good
times.
position.
Red on the line. Numbers White. Full line. Full line. Full line.
Well, from this position, Lucy Caladine set up a try for Ella Cromack 10 minutes or 15 minutes or so ago. And if England can secure possession again, which they do, and they do calmly get the ball back on their side, and they set themselves up for the rolling ball here, and it has momentum, and they are over the line again, and surely England will be in for a fourth. They do touch it down. The forward power tells again for the English. Well, Heidi Pache Tarragon getting the plaudits from her teammates, the open side flanker, who's had a difficult old first half, being biffed up at various points and having to change her shirt, but she is towards the end of this first half on the score sheet, and this is how England did it. Once they'd set and started their march towards the line, Wales were not able to stop. Daisy Aspinall lines up the conversion. And it sets off in the right direction. It has the legs as well. Excellent conversion from Aspinall. England with a strong lead now as we approach half-time.
Heidi Pache Tarragon, converted by number 14, Daisy Aspinall. England 24, Wales 5.
24 points to 5, England's lead, a healthy one. Wales kick play back off. How is England's ability to deal with the restart? It's again a drop ball from the restart. It's been a part of their game which just hasn't gone right at all. Bridget Campbell tidies up. She's taken down. Really good chase from Wales. Here's Meta, who this time keeps it alive with Amelia Williams. And that's along the line to Connie Clark. And look at the speed from Clark as she goes down the sidings of this beautiful pitch here in rugby. Williams again.
No red.
Loose head prop is becoming more and more prominent in the loose. Cromack's big pass off the left finds Millie David. And here goes David surging upfield. Haskell. Cromack now goes off on herself, and here's Aspinall now. Daisy Aspinall goes round the last defender and has the speed to run this in. A second score for Daisy Aspinall, and it's another beauty from England's right winger. Lightning speed combined with a killer instinct.
That will be time after the kick. That'll be time after the kick.
So England look to go beyond the 30-point mark, and they do just that, 31 points to 5, and that will be half time. 35 minutes a half at this level, and England go into half time with that 31 points to 5 lead. Well, let's take a look at all the tries in this first half. Things started off with Lucy Ward, Wales's set piece not precise enough, and Ward pounced, and with her power and pace from close range, no one was going to stop Lucy Ward. She wasn't one of the players in the original squad of 80 players when they formed back in August. She was only brought in for the internal game, and isn't she making the most of life now in this England starting 15? This was the first score from Aspinall, and she glided round the outside to dot down. She is the danger player on the field from both teams, no doubt about it. Aspinall, her speed is so hard to defend against. Wales's only try of the half came from the rolling maul, taken well by Robin Davis, and then the hooker Molly Wakely kept the ball close to her, and as she approached the line, pounced at the right time. So then England's captain, Lucy Calladine, set up the fly half. Ella Cromack, pass out the back from Calladine, allowing Cromack to use her physicality and cross the whitewash. Then England's pack had a rolling maul of themselves to savour, and this was finished off by Pashai Tarragon. And this was the try which rounded out the half, and what a beauty it was as well. The speed put on the ball by Daisy Aspinall, surging round the outside. Such an elegant runner. And she scored her second. Again, that glide on Caris Hughes is in the right kind of situation where there's enough space on the outside. She's as near as impossible to stop as you can be on a rugby field. And that is how we got to half-time. 31 points to 5 to England women in the first women's international ever to be held at Rugby School. And a fine first half for England. Wales with a lot to do in that second period if they are to claw their way back into this. Of course, this the first international match of the season for both these two nations, and the real business end of things comes next month in April when the Six Nations Festival begins down at Wellington College in Berkshire. So they're both preparing for that later on in the season.
It's great that Honda, as a partner of England Rugby, have come on board to support specifically the work that volunteers do. And events like we're holding tonight are just a great opportunity to recognise the great work and the great effort that volunteers put in, and really importantly to bring them together to have a good time and to say thank you.
But actually, more importantly, we should recognise everybody, every one of the volunteers right across the organisation. And when you're building a successful organisation, everybody has an equal role in that. And that's where we want the reach.
Our first winner, this is the unsung hero category. Ladies and gents, our first winner is Jodie Hill of Lincoln RFC.
Volunteering has done so much for me. I found myself completely, probably 5 years ago, I was so unconfident, I was anxious, I struggled with my mental health, and now I can say I actually have a purpose in life, and I find myself making other people happy gives me a big purpose.
We're going to move on to our second winner. This is the victor in the Game for All category. Would you please give an extraordinary round of applause to our second winner, who is Will Gilgrass from Old School Champions.
It's amazing being at Twickenham. It's obviously a really special place to be as a rugby fan, and it's been incredible to hear the stories of everyone else that's been nominated. And I mean, a lot of those people have done incredible things, and to being the person of honour seems a bit silly. But yeah, it's just lovely to be with people who are all sort of very supportive of rugby and want to push it forward for more people like this.
Now we are going to move on to our third and final winner this evening, ladies and gents, which is the Beyond Rugby Award. Ladies and gents, our third winner is Arthur Crabtree of RFC.
It's so great to be announced as a winner. It's an honour. As rugby, we're a pretty prosperous part of society, so it's so great to give back and help where we can. It's given me that confidence to kind of give back and help the little ones. So I coach in the sixes, so I love coaching them, and it's great seeing them grow through the club.
The one message that I'd give to volunteers, actually there'd be two. One would be, please keep doing what you're doing because the sport just needs you. And secondly, please go away and tell everybody else what a great experience it is and get them involved.
Obviously rugby is a big part of my life.
Muir takes two to stop it.
Do some coaching as well, which is a huge part of my week. It's very niche, but like pottery painting. So we went the other week with the girls as a little group social and painted some pottery. I've got a whole fruit range, so maybe once I finish rugby, I'll go into fruit pottery making. I like to film quite a lot of clips, through camps and stuff. I would film little clips, and I have been editing them. I just love looking back on it, and that's the same with photography. I really like taking pictures and being able to look back on them, and I kind of have made some scrapbooks as well, which has been really nice. My two lovely flatmates, they are great people as well as rugby players. So I live with Sam Monaghan, who is an Irish second row, and then I also live with Elizabeth Golden, who is a Kiwi fly half. Sam is great, she's doing a lot of DIY at the minute, putting up blinds. She did this room, she sanded and varnished her floor, which took over a week, and she had to plaster it all. I would say that Sam is a mixologist or a cocktail maker. She loves making a little espresso martini, which we all like to enjoy in moderation, of course. Lizzie likes to work. Well, I don't think she does like to work. She likes to pretend she's working. No, she does actually work really hard. She has an England job and a New Zealand job. Being a lawyer, long hours as in into the night because she is working in her New Zealand time zone. Lizzie also loves to cook. If anyone's cooking us a meal, it will be Lizzie. We all go round to each other's houses. Lizzie's normally the main chef. The rest of us will be sous chefs / clearing up duties. And then she also loves a scampi fry. Not only have we got like us three as a great household, we also have 3 amazing neighbours. We are yet to do it, but we are really excited to start an Instagram account between our 2 houses. We haven't really thought too much about it, but it'll just be a little private, funny account where we can post a bit about what we're doing. Tuk Tuk, I think, was brought over from France. It's just slowly trickled the way through, and most Prem clubs probably know Tuk Tuk. But it's a bit like frustration, like it's hard to explain, but the aim is to get round the whole board. You also try and kill each other with little counters. You use a pack of cards to play, and the different cards mean different things. So Lizzie made the Toy Story board just before Christmas, I think she finished it off.
The most cutthroat player is definitely Mo. She's pretty savage, she loves killing people.
Serious?
And she takes no mercy, so it's yeah, it's always interesting playing with her.
Key reason why I moved to the club was their off-field stuff, like the culture within Gloucester from an outside perspective, just so close-knit, and that really appealed to me. Coming in definitely is exactly the same, like the culture is so good. And I do think when you've got such a great relationship off the pitch, it does reflect onto the pitch, and you can see that in our performances week in, week out. We haven't spoken about it too much, but we want to win the Prem. I think it will just change a lot of people's perceptions of the game in Gloucester, and hopefully the Gloucester fans are great and we'll always get down to the men's game.
So welcome back to the second half at Rugby School. England kicking off 31 points to 5 ahead against Wales after a 5-try first half from the English. And they've started with another set piece to contest in the second half. Their set piece was the more dominant of the two across the first 35 minutes, and it led to numerous tries for England's Lucy Ward, England's tight head prop, with the first try of the game after Wales's line-outs had faltered. And here England back at it in set-piece action and getting a shunt on in the scrum. Ella Cromack flicks it back. Lauren Nola along the line to Evans. Evans kicks to Daisy Aspinall. This could be dangerous here. Aspinall flicks it along to David, Millie David. England having shuffled their cards, and Millie Pearce is on at scrum half now. Pashai Tarragon powering forward in the blank jersey, the open side flanker, after she had to change jerseys early in the first half. There's Ward, the tight head prop. England looking to be expansive from the off at the start of the second period, and the hands are good, and there's Millie David again, and she'll take England into the 22. Wales having to put their shoulder to the wheel in defence right at the start. Jasmine Adonri with that carry. Wales have at least slowed England down a touch. Now here's another new face to proceedings, Kaylee Priest. Pearce. This is chipped through. This might bounce for Daisy Aspinall. Not quite. Karis Hughes has the ball in her hands, the Welsh fullback. Penalty though, to Wales. I think England were offside from that kick. So the scrum half, Sian Jones gets Wales going, and this might work out nicely for the Welsh. Good hands along the line. Pass was excellent from Picton Powell. And here is Hannah Lane. And England do get back, but Wales have counter-attacked superbly there. And that was all from Sian Jones, raising the tempo when she saw England were out of position. So fast and loose beginning to the second half.
Just step forward for me. Oh, that's going to be a big gap. Thank you. Crouch! Bind! Set!
Millie Pearce
Hold there.
is
Hold up.
feeding the scrum. It goes a little backwards for England, but the ball does go along the line eventually. Natalie Evans has taken it well, and this might work out nicely for England with Millie David surging forward, the fullback over halfway, rounds Caris Hughes, and she's still going, David.
Advantage high, 11.
This time Aspinall into support to secure the ball, and Wales killing it on the floor. So England have a penalty, and we've talked today quite a lot about Daisy Aspinall, but how about the speed there from Millie David? Ella Cromack wastes no time in booting this one to touch, and England with a great chance
Reds, take
from
the line,
this
please.
line out to
Numbers
cause Wales
white.
more problems.
Full line, full chord. Full. Hold your feet on the line, please, Red.
So Pashai Tarragon is going to throw in for England at the start of the second half. Bridget Campbell claims it's been a source of good line-out ball for England today, has Campbell. And Wales are heading back towards their own try line here. England can't keep it off the floor. They do have the advantage, however. Pashai Tarragon looks for the line here, the open side. Millie Pearce feeds her backline. Cromack wants to go away to the left with Daisy Aspinall, who's on 2 tries already today. 2 superb tries. Evans, then Nola, and there's a chance here for England with Connie Clark into the corner. England open up in style in the second half. They are too hot to handle at the moment. Connie Clark, the left winger, finishing in style here. Nola with the loop pass out, and Clark held her depth well and then surged for the line. The Preston Grasshoppers player, Connie Clark, played England under-18 sevens in the Rugby Europe Championship last season, so this isn't her first involvement with an England team. Daisy Aspinall looks to convert her fellow back 3 players' try, but doesn't quite have the elevation required. So England lead 36 points to 5 now. And Clark's speed on the outside, too much for the cover defence.
11, Connie Clark. England 36, Wales 5.
Sian Jones kicks off, and England now deal much better with the restart, well, at least initially, not after they knocked it on. It's a strange quirk of this game that England have played so well, and yet almost every single restart they have given possession back to Wales.
Just take a step for me to the right, and I can go. Thank you. Crouch!
Good position this for Wales.
Set!
They've got 4 of their backs to the left-hand side and 2 to the right, and Gwen-Anne Hopkins, the captain, goes to the blind side.
Knock on only. Knock on advantage.
Maisie Davis
Still playing knock on advantage, Red.
with the carry. Catherine Stewart.
Okay, nothing coming. Knock on in the
England's
tackle. Scrum
knocking
Red.
the ball on, so Wales will get another scrum.
Thank you. Okay. 3 and 7 Red substitution. 3 and 7. Simon.
So Wales switch a few.
Expectation, okay?
Alan Jones's day is done, so to Catherine Stewart.
Crouch!
Good scrum from Wales. Passes are loose though. Goes well over both fly half and inside centre, but they're making the most of this, although England pinch it back with Natalie Evans and Daisy Aspinall. Now taking on all comers, and Aspinall goes round the outside, looks for support on the inside from Richardson, the blind side.
Wait. She's through the middle!
Penalty comes. Wales again going off their feet. Ella Cromack. England taking the ball quickly. And this is Lucy Sams powering into Wales's 22. Millie Pearce. Cromack. It's a good line indeed. Cromack. Jinx goes herself the fly half. England on that left-hand wing now.
Okay. Head advantage, high.
Wales just about getting back and stopping the English from getting too much quick ball, but here it comes again. They reload.
Red
penalty
14,
to the English. High tackle.
14. Sorry, we'll take it.
Pearce wants to go quickly. And she does, to Cromack, who looks for the crossfield kick, and Aspinall is waiting out here. Can she jump high and claim it? Wales instead have the ball. Rachel Thomas-Evans
You're fine, there was a knock on here. Scrum
gets it
red.
back for Wales after England knocked on.
Okay, thank you. Time off, there's some medics on. Okay, we'll restart with a scrum here in a minute. That's 13 red.
So Wales is Gwenanne Hopkins heading back to join her teammates.
Okay, thank you. Just waiting for a red substitution, okay?
And England's readying themselves to make wholesale substitutions. That's why we have a delay on.
No, they're just warming up. Wales 15!
Wales doing likewise as well.
Red 15, substitution.
5 new faces about to join the fray at Rugby School, and these are big moments in the young careers of these players. Not just representing their country, but the location and the prestige of this very pitch.
Changes for a white coming.
Caris Hughes heads off. Wales' fullback has had a good game. She's
14
shown
and 1, white
some
substitution.
lively moments in attack. And Daisy Aspinall leaves the pitch for England on 2 tries today. What a performance from England's right winger.
All good? Okay, lovely. Time back on, scrum here. I'll remake the mark, okay? Here we go. New front row, same expectation. Come on, girls! Crouch! Bind! Set! 1, 2, 3! Hold right, hold!
Pressure on Wales' scrum again. After the changes, it's the English, however, who give away the penalty. And Wales will tap and go. Sian Jones again, the scrum half, wanting to attack England where they don't expect it, and they make headway, Wales. Chipping ahead here. Cromack will pick things up for England and heads it out to Millie David, who has support on the outside, but instead she goes herself, David, and she's away. Rides a high tackle. England with the advantage. Now England's Lucy Sams on the ball.
Okay, that's not.
And we'll come back for that high tackle on David, who is made of tough stuff, clearly.
Captain.
Bustling through a couple of tackles.
And 1 red, please. 1 red.
And she hardly seemed to flinch when she was
arm contact to the
hit
head.
high, and it's enough of a high shot to see a yellow card given to Chloe Thomas-Bradley,
High.
the loose head, for that tackle on David. So Wales down to 14. And this could be ominous with one of their
Red on the
key
line.
scrummaging and mauling players
Red on
on the
line. Thank you.
sidelines.
Numbers
England will
white.
surely
Numbers.
not try and be any more expansive than a
White,
rolling
I
maul
need
here,
numbers,
given the
please.
success they've had today.
Full line. 6. 6.
Pashai Tarragon
Okay, thank you.
will throw in. Hannah Sams also on in the England pack. Richardson with the claim. Pashai Tarragon goes to the back of the ball, and England set off looking for the line. They'll get over the line. Another try coming for England surely, but held up. Wales doing enough to stifle the English. That's really good defence from Wales.
Drop
It
back,
looked for
please,
all
behind
money
the kicker red.
that England would be crossing
Timing, 18 drop.
again. Dropout doesn't go far. Annabelle Meta has a run up for number 8. Her legs were taken. Pearce. Cromack now jabs this one through, and it's an awkward one for Rachel Thomas-Evans to have to take. She tidies up, and Cromack, however, takes it, and she keeps it alive with Meta, but the number 8 can't take the ball into her grasp. Molly May Powell carries this forward.
Advantage over.
And Jones with the box kick. England's Sophie Hopkins doesn't take that cleanly. Fresh on the park is Hopkins. She's playing at full-back. And that was a difficult one to take as your first touch of the ball.
Okay. Front row, please. Thank you. 6 red. You're going off for that substitution, please. Thank you.
Another few changes for Wales. Maisie Davis heads off, the Scarlets and Llandovery player.
Thank you. Sign back on. Yeah, Mark's there. Wait! Okay. Big push, now go! Crouch! Bind!
So Megan Lewis has come on in replacement of Chloe Thomas-Bradley to allow contestable scrums. Wales still with 14 players, of course.
Say Mark. Let's maintain this gap here. Healthy gap, okay? Crouch! Bind! Set! Hold right!
Wales' scrum holds firm. Jones goes herself this scrum half. It's had a good game, Sian Jones. It's caused England a host of problems when she's run the ball. Now Sophie Hopkins,
Okay,
another difficult bouncing ball to deal with.
Scrum red.
And Wales will have a scrum from inside England's half.
Crouch! Bind! Early.
Sian Jones keeps the pace high again and starting to get more and more ball the scrum half and take more and more responsibility on.
Take a step.
There's Megan Lewis, who can't quite take it, the new loose head prop. So England will get a scrum from pretty much the same position Wales had the last one.
Okay. Substitution. Just wait. 3 and 6 white, please. 3 and 6.
So more substitutions for England and more enthusiasm being brought to the pitch by the bench. Both teams really giving game time to the whole squad today.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
England scrum gets a little nudge on. Pearce to Cromack. Then Nola. Nola to the line, and that's a nice pass.
Knock on advantage.
Wales will have an advantage, however. Knock on from England.
Okay, nothing coming. We'll take the scrum. Knock on, scrum, red. Show me. Need you driving square through the market all time, okay? Crouch! Bind! Set! Hard right!
England with a much stronger scrum now. Wales really under pressure there. Still Jones who gets it back for Wales.
Back foot, keep going.
Plucky
Keep going.
player,
Thank
Sian
you.
Jones, heading into contact there against
Knock
bigger
on.
opponents and giving as good as she got, but knocking on in the process. So set piece after set piece. In this second half, looking for an authoritative stamp from either team.
Right, girls, can we take a second?
England
Thank you.
having
Yeah.
scored
Crouch!
the only try of the second half with Connie Clark.
Set!
But since the changes have been made, play has been a little jittery from both teams. Here's Sophie Hopkins. She passes along nicely to Millie David, and David is off and running, and she's in open space and looking to size up the last defender. Turning again is Clark, and Clark might be away here. Connie Clark looking for the line. She's taken right on the try line. She rolls, tries to place.
Time off. Time off.
How's she got there? Well, she was taken down by Molly May Powell, and the referee with her assistant just conferring as to what happened there.
Okay, so it was red 11. Red 11. Okay, I have a grounding. You have a grounding? Yeah. Okay, lovely, thank you.
So there we go. The try is scored. Connie Clark with the second, and England with a long ranger.
And captain, please. Okay. Red 11. Yeah. Okay. High shot affecting the try scoring ability of the player. Okay. That is a yellow card offence.
So Wales with another yellow card to contend with now for the high tackle. It was Molly May Powell who tried to stop Connie Clark on the line, but did so illegally.
Okay, off you go, please, man.
So Wales now down to 14 players again,
Roll, wait there.
with Molly May Powell in the sin bin. Pearce. Kaylee Priest. And Priest still going. Good bust from the Exeter College player. Here comes Sams. Cromack looks for support, and it comes again. This is knocked on by England.
She dropped it first. Scrum red. Time off.
So an England player receiving treatment just out of our picture, and time off for both sets of players. Rugby School becomes the fourth venue where England's women's under-18 team have played a home match since their inception. They've played in Bicton College in Devon, Preston Grasshoppers and Tyndale, and now Rugby School. Really haven't been many under-18 test matches in the women's game through the years. There's only been 12 full-length under-18 test matches since 2016. England have played in 7 of those and won 4, and as mentioned a little bit earlier, Wales have played in 3 of them and won all 3. And 2 of those 3 were against England at the Principality in 2018 and 2019.
Okay, lovely, yeah, we're good.
Different story here at Rugby School today, however.
Time back on. Crouch! Bind! Set! Hold right!
Wales again under pressure at the scrum. Gwenanne Hopkins picks and goes and then kicks the number 8. Millie David comes forward.
No, red.
Wales's chase is good.
She's through the middle.
Pearce can't get the ball away.
Play on!
Have Wales pinched it back? They have. And the penalty comes with it. Excellent work again on the floor from Wales. It's been a very impressive aspect of their game is how strong they've been on the floor.
No white, leave it.
Chloe Thomas-Bradley back on after her yellow card and on the charge there. England's defence lining up red jerseys and looking to place those dominant tackles on their opponents as well.
Touchdown's fine.
Chip and go. Molly Wakely tidies up, and now this is Nia Fajayasan.
Straight in. Side entry.
Sian Jones, surely she'll want to go quickly. Instead she kicks the touch. And a great opportunity here for Wales to score a second try.
Numbers red.
Their first try coming from an almost identical situation to this in the first half.
Take the line if you're not in it. Take the line, please, 8. What are you doing? Thank you. Hold on. Right. Wales, I need you to communicate that earlier. One says 5, one says full line. Full. Okay, someone said 5 at the front. Full line. Okay. In the line, please, 8. Thank you.
So Wakely goes to the middle of the line out, but it doesn't go to hand. England can get the ball back.
Scrum white.
And they do. Well, they got the jumpers up, but it just didn't go and didn't stick in the hand for Wales. There's been a few too many of occasions like that for the Welsh today.
Crouch! Bind! Set! Balls of it.
So England's scrum is under pressure. Both scrums making it difficult for their opponents on their opponent's ball. England get clean ball there though, and Millie Pearce to Nola after Cromack had released, and England are running it from deep again with David, and look at the speed that she's able to put on the ball. Over halfway she goes, looks to round the last defender, and is David going to run in a special score? at the birthplace of the game. It is a piece of brilliance from Millie David. She's been terrific this afternoon. And as things have opened up a little bit more, the space has been there for David to exploit. And speed just can't be beaten in rugby. And David has so much of it.
This way, please, Ted. I'm okay, thank you. Yeah.
On my wager, that is a happy head coach in James Cooper at the moment, as England eye up 50 points with Ella Cromack's conversion attempt here. Cromack with all the distance she needs, just not the direction. So scores stay as they are. England leading Wales 48 points to 5. And she was, well, 10 metres from her line. And David sized up Rachel Thomas-Evans before flying around the outside. Jones with the restart, and Wales again claiming possession from the restart, although putting a foot in touch. It was good play from Savannah Picton-Powell.
Red, here's your mark. Full line. Full course. Red, take a step to your right. Keep going. 18, take a step right, that's it. All on your front marker, Red, please, thank you. Let's go, please, white.
Pashai Tarragon to throw in. England's good from the middle of the line out, taken by McQueen.
I've seen it, thank you.
But Wales will get it back and they'll have a scrum in an inviting position.
Yeah. Red 2 and red 9 substitution.
Well, Sian Jones' day is done.
2 and 9
the scrum half, as is Molly Wakely, the hooker. And it's been a good performance from both those two players for Wales. Wakely, the try scorer, and Jones, a constant menace for England around the rucks, and she had a very good game. Wales' scrum half. Now it's a chance for Katie Bevans, the scrum half from the Dragons.
Come up. Okay. Changing personnel. We still need to have this gap this side. Okay. Hold your body weight till the ball's in. Crouch!
So Wales now back up to a full complement of 15 players, having seen 2 yellow cards in this second half. Bevans, good pass to Picton-Powell, but Wales aren't precise enough.
Not bound throughout.
They did have the penalty coming.
20.
England's Sophie McQueen at fault for
AR, use them.
breaking from the scrum too early.
20, stay bound throughout, please. Shoulder included.
Hannah Marshall kicks to touch.
Okay, white here.
And Wales, his new hooker,
Six called.
Abby Mayrick, also from the Dragons, in the scrum hat, has her first line-out throw of this under-18 international season. And Mayrick finds her jumper, and she'll go in on the ball as well. And Wales can be dangerous from this position. And there goes Mayrick peeling off. taking on Pashai Tarragon.
Back for 8.
Gwenan Hopkins keeps it tight.
No, white, no!
Chloe Thomas-Bradley with the next drive, the loose head. And they're 5 metres out, Wales.
Just stop, that's a neck. Stay there, 5. Stay there.
So instant stoppage of the game.
Scrum red.
Will be a Welsh ball when play restarts. But that certainly did look nasty for the Welsh player concerned. For England, a chance to regroup and get ready to defend their line again. These two teams will be contesting the Six Nations Festival next month, along with the likes of Ireland, Scotland and France. For Wales, there's another international coming up in 2 weeks' time against Scotland. That'll be their next tune-up opportunity. But based on this performance today, England are going to be a difficult team to face at the Six Nations Festival. They have been playing with a real organised unity across the 60 minutes today. And they've been too much for Wales, simply too much today. And despite Wales having their moments, it has been extremely difficult for the Welsh to stay in the fight, as England have really run the show. And the woman wearing number 10 today has been central to that. Ella Cromack, one of the few players who hasn't been substituted, and that is to do with just how well she runs the show. And doesn't that woman there organise a backline well as well? Emily Scarrett, who might be keeping an eye on some of her teammates here today from Loughborough Lightning. The likes of England's scrum half today, Evie Haskell, is from Loughborough, as well as Daisy Aspinall, a player who has been so exciting to watch today. Or I should say she was a Loughborough Lightning player last season. She has moved to Hartpury for this season.
We weren't playing under pen, were we? No.
Yeah, we were there was penalty for us because we were up and they kept there was a pen.
Not that I called, no. So we'll be starting with a scrum to red.
Okay.
All right.
So Wales's Erin Jones was the player who the referee had concerns about her neck, but she's up and walking and taking herself off to the sidelines, which is good to see, despite it being an unfortunate way for any match to end for any player. Erin Jones is at least able to take herself off.
Okay, so there are 2 ones. We're over. Are we over? Yeah.
We very much hope that that doesn't affect the rest of her season.
Got a prop coming on. Or a prop or issue.
Megan Lewis is back with
One
us
of you is moving to second row,
for a second stint in this match.
Okay.
Coming on in the front row.
Time back on. Yeah.
So play back underway as Wales have 55 metres of open side to plan an attack. Katie Bevans feeds the ball.
Come up. Happy that's just a slip? Yeah. Right, come forward then. Square that shoulder up for me, please.
Let's go, come in, pass. Up.
Katie Bevans goes away to the right. Gwenanne Hopkins goes away to the left, the number 8. Taken down by Sophie Hopkins. And Wales looking to work the short side with Hannah Marshall. And they're close to England's line now, Wales. But England have the ball. And Ella Cromack again dummies and then kicks it forward. Near for Jason. Collects it for Wales. Wales were offside, however, so England will be able to clear their lines.
Yeah, you're good? Yeah. On the 5.
Cromack clears the touch.
Thank you. Okay. Red, your mark's here. Whoops, sorry. Numbers white. Numbers 6. 6 called.
Pashai Tarragon with the line out. England's line out hasn't faltered across the match despite the changes that they've made in the front row to the pack. It's been a very solid set-piece performance. Here's Nola, Lauren Nola. Haven't seen too much of her running with the ball. She's been a distributor mainly for England. Lauren Bailey passes that along the line. David, here's Connie Clark.
Okay, first by red, then
But England lose
white,
possession.
then red. Scrum red. Red scrum.
Can Wales conjure something else from this match before full time to come away with another score, a few more points, or can England get beyond the 50 mark?
This picture to be square, okay? It's not worth engaging if you're not square. Yeah. Well, it's red. Oh, yeah. Crouch! Step that way, please. Bind! Set!
So Bevans feeds, and it's a good scrum for Wales. Really good platform. Now Wales kick crossfield. Coming forward is Sophie Hopkins. Excellent take from the replacement fullback. And she offloads to Lauren Bailey, and England on the attack once more. Cromack over to David, and this could be dangerous again for England. Here's Nola, flicks it out the back to Sophie Hopkins. Doesn't find the intended target. Wales might have stolen this on the floor, they have. Hopkins, the number 8, leaves it for her scrum half, Bevans. It's a good short side here for Wales to work with, and Bevans goes herself. Looped it over the top, that was nice. On to Hopkins, who keeps the play alive. Superbly done, Hannah Marshall, but it was forward in the process. Well, that was nice work in tight spaces from Wales. But the referee on the spot to make that call. This was the pass here,
One on for each side.
which was deemed forward. And, well, from our position here, that was a bit of a tough call for Wales. So bodies strewn across the pitch here at Rugby School. The effect of this international on these players, it has added up, and towards the end of this match, cramp starts to creep in. And Gwenanne Hopkins is down for Wales. Ella Cromack is stretching off for England.
Thank you.
But no doubt for both teams, an extremely useful development tool for the rest of their season, this match.
Okay, happy medic? All good? Time back on. Scrum. Scrum. It's a forward pass by red, scrum white.
There is Maisie Davis, who was taking her time to make sure she'd stretched out a cramp in one of her legs.
Crouch! Bind! Set!
Can England finish with a flourish at Rugby School? They secure the ball from the scrum. Cromack looks to Nola, and Nola feeds Lauren Bailey. And Bailey again looks dangerous. The number 22 for England, Connie Clark, with that last carry. Here's Annabelle Meta, but she's not back. England's number 8.
No hands, red!
Pearce. O'Donoghue just can't take the ball with her.
Scrum red.
So Wales will have possession now for these final couple of minutes.
Last minute to play. Last minute. Crouch! Bind! Set! Hold!
Good scrum from Wales.
Use it!
Bevans doesn't give a good pass to Picton Powell, who knocks it on.
Knock on.
So we'll go from one scrum to another.
Scrum white.
Time for a final attack for England then from this scrum.
30 seconds to play, okay? 30 seconds. Crouch! Bind! Set! Use it!
Pearce goes away to the left. Cromack flicks it around the back to Bailey, but Bailey can't take it with her. And that will be another knock on, but that is full time. The first under-18s international of the season, and England have taken the day. 48 points to 5. They've beaten Wales at Rugby School, and they have been so impressive today, England. And Wales gave England, particularly in the first half, a few things to think about, but England's precision across the 70 minutes was very impressive, and this is how the tries played out today. Lucy Ward getting matters going with the first score, the tight head prop. And Daisy Aspinall's first run of the day, and it was a special one as well. Gliding round the outside on Caris Hughes and scoring an excellent first try, one of 2 for her today. Then Wales got on the scoreboard with Molly Wakely. Molly Wakely's pack helping her over, and seeing what it meant to the Welsh players was one of the highlights of today to get that score. England replied, however, with Lucy Calladine, their captain, setting up Ella Cromack, and Cromack just bundled through the tackles to get the ball down. England then went full on for the rolling maul for their next try, and Heidi Pashai Tarragon was the scorer. Underneath the bodies, it was the blue scrum hat of Pashai Tarragon. Now this was a special try as well, wasn't it? Daisy Aspinall from distance for a second score of the day. Now Connie Clark in the second half was taken high here, unable to actually score the try herself. Or actually, say that again, Clark did score it. She was in the process of being high tackled. Now Millie David, then the fullback, got in on the act with a long range effort from herself, breaking free and then dusting off the final defender. And 8 tries in all for England. And a 48-5 victory for England against Wales here at the birthplace of the game, Rugby School. So wherever you've been watching on from, and whoever you've been watching or supporting, thank you very much for joining us here in Rugby. It's been a splendid afternoon of running rugby from both teams, and England have run out convincing winners, and we thank you very much for watching, and we hope you have a very good rest of the day.